DC Wright-Hammer here. I reread my first novel for the first time in 4 years, and yeah, it is decent for a first novel, but man, I had this tendency that I did throughout the book that could be really annoying, and I hope to save any potential writers who have the same tendency the trouble. Check it out. So my first novel was a psychological sci-fi thriller written in the first person. It's called Between Two Minds Awakening, and I wanted to show quite a bit of action in various scenes and very much front load a sentence with action and then let it resolve however it needed to. And that was very effective in some sentences and in some paragraphs here or there, but I think I did it a little too much. The writing tool or technique that I use quite often in the book is called a participle phrase. I would start a sentence with a participle phrase, which means that there is a verb starting the sentence that leads right into whatever else is happening in the sentence. So let me give you some examples. Turning the handle, she opened the door. So she's turning the handle and opening the door sort of simultaneously, but she has to turn the handle first and open the door. And you know, some might argue that whatever your participle phrase at the beginning of the sentence should be happening for the rest of the sentence. But that makes sense in some cases, in other cases it doesn't, and I don't think the readers necessarily get too messed up on that. Another example, cursing under his breath, he walked away. So that is something, he's cursing under his breath, he's walking away, you get that sort of action and you know whatever else is happening. And I think there's nothing wrong with the participle phrases. They can be used very effectively in writing. But I found a paragraph in my first novel where I'm like, all right, DC, come on, you know better. This should have been caught in editing by me or my editor. It's just a little too much. So here's a complete paragraph from one chapter in my first novel. It starts with, proving him wrong, I sprinted for the stairwell and busted open the door. Sliding down the handrail, I dropped to the second lower level before I heard another door open, but it wasn't the ground level door that I came from. Stopping, I peered down over the hand railing to see who was below me. 2 more men in black. So I've got this paragraph is basically 3 sentences that have participle phrases in the front and then tell you what else is happening in the sentence. And again, participle phrases can be a very effective way to communicate action up front and then whatever else is happening in the sentence. But when you do it in a sentence, in a whole paragraph, it's just continually action then this, it does detract from the overall message that you're trying to communicate. Not to mention, in the editing process, my editor caught a few situations where my participle phrases could not happen at the same time as what was happening in the second one. With both hands, he pulled open the door, or pulling open the door with both hands, he drank a cup of milk. Like, you can't do both. So you need to be careful with that as well. But I think, you know, as a first-time writer, and even as, you know, we mature in our writing journeys, we can come up with these tendencies in our writing, and I think it's important that we take a look at them, analyze them while we have the opportunity in the editing process, talk them over with our editors, if you're getting a professional editor out there, and just see if there's better ways to phrase those sentences, break them up into 2 sentences, or maybe they do have to stay, but you just watch how often you use something like a participle phrase in a paragraph. But I wanted to make a quick video. I reread the novel, I got to that paragraph, I'm like, all right. And I'd already started to notice the trend several chapters in. This one was like in the middle of the book, and I'm like, it just is a bit much. So hope you enjoy this video, this content that I've been putting out. If you do, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. It helps people find it. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them down below, and I will catch you all next time. Thank you.